Just waiting to get the notifications there. And thank you again. Okay, here we go. Boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast with none other than Brother Ernest. Muhammad, this means so much to us, Brother Ernest, that you would take time out of your busy schedule for part two to give us some information as well as some inspiration. First of all, assalamu alaikum, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Brother Ernest, first of all, I want to thank you again for your sacrifice and the sacrifice of your family. Who we thank, I want to thank Mikal, Yasmin, your younger children, and of course, Sister Felicia, just for being around us and making sure that we were okay when we were younger. So that meant a lot to us. We spoke earlier. We talked about we're gonna come to music because we got to talk about Black Ice and you being a DJ and how'd you get into that. But I wanted to talk about your parents, Brother Ernest, because I always see you throw some positive throwback pictures up of you, in your youth. What was it like growing up in your household?
Okay. Wow. Well, first off, let me say, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Um, Actually, I'm a blessed man in that regard. Um, my father, uh, he wasn't a member of the Nation of Islam or anything like that. He was a good man. Um, uh, I'm gonna come back to my father and talk about my mother, and my stepfather.
Yes, sir.
See, because it was actually my mother and my stepfather that introduced me and my sister to the Nation of Islam.
Mm.
Um, this is, well, I'll talk more about the nation, but I have a wonderful mother, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I thank Allah, through the Howdy to live, she's still here today and she's
Yes,
still
sir.
strong, by Allah's grace and mercy. But she made sure that me and my sister always had the best of everything. But in addition to education that we received in the schools, my mother and my stepfather, I'll get back to my dad, but my mother and my stepfather made sure I had learning outside of school. They exposed me to so much as a child coming up. Um, I actually saw Minister Farrakhan when I was 10 years old. They took me to see him at Federal City College.
Mm.
And that convinced it for me. They enrolled myself and my sister at Muhammad University of Islam. And to this day, the lessons I learned, the brotherhood that I shared with some brothers and sisters, I still see from way back prior to 1975. So, having a mother that want to make sure that not just know what you learn in the textbooks from school from the enemy, but that meant the world to me. And I tell her constantly, I'm grateful to Allah, for you looking out for me in that regard. Let me get back to my father. Now, my father, uh, he was a player,
Mm-hmm.
a player's player. You know what I'm saying? But my father was a good man, man, and I loved him, man. We were close. We were just like this. I mean, we were really, really close. Um, he was my first influence musically, and I learned a lot of things from my father because he was had a great sense of humor. And I'm a great conversationalist, but my father, he was even better, man.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
he can talk and put a smile on anybody's face, regardless of your color, whatever it is. He really was adored by the people that came into contact with him. And when he was 16 years old in high school, my father was a cab dispatcher. Now, this was like unheard of that a high school student working part time as a cab dispatcher in the DC area.
Mm.
Um, I really learned a lot from my father. He was a gentleman. He had his faults, but Minister Farrakhan told me about my father. He said, Ernest, he said, don't ever judge your parents. Don't judge your father, because unless you walk in his shoes, you're not equipped to judge him. So I'm grateful to Allah. I learned what I should do as a man and some things that I should not do. But but I'll share with everybody. He was physically abusive and verbally abusive. With my mom, and seeing this as a child growing up, it made me committed to not do the same thing. Every generation has to drop off some baggage from the previous generation. That's the only way we're going to really, really make progress. So I made up in my mind as a child that I would not hit women. I would not abuse women. I would not verbally abuse women. And, I frown upon that. But, my father's father did the same thing. But my father was unable to break that vicious cycle of abuse. Uh, and by Allah's grace, I've been able to break that cycle of abuse, hopefully, in my family, and that my sons will understand that a woman is to be treasured and not to be abused or beaten. And I thank Allah for both my parents, and I thank Allah for them coming together and and just showing me love. Now I tell you one thing: my father loved his son. You did not see my father anywhere unless I was with him, right there by his side. He pulling me in the car, come on, son, let's go somewhere, teaching me how to drive and having me play football. All the things that fathers do. And these are some of the things that I missed out on. Because when you get into this work, we become so immersed in the work, we kind of neglect the work at home, and we leave it all on our wives to navigate or help the children navigate through life, because we're gone. We're across the world, we're across the country, we're on the road, but we are on the road trying to build something for you, Josh, and my children, that you all will have something to fall back on. So I do have those slight regrets, but I don't have any regrets about being a member of the Nation of Islam and being a soldier in the Nation of Islam, because this is Memorial Day weekend. And look, Memorial Day weekend is supposed to honor soldiers. And I'm telling you, we don't realize, well, a lot of people don't realize, we soldiers.
Yes, sir.
From the highest caliber.
Yes,
Master
sir.
Farad Muhammad is the commander-in-chief of the entire universe.
Yes, sir.
And his exalted Christ, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, is at his right hand.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and right
sir.
behind them is Minister Louis Farrakhan. And he's a soldier. He's waging war on the highest plane, fighting principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we're soldiers of a different caliber, but all of us, you, Josh, included, we're soldiers.
Praise be to
Edgar
Allah.
Evers was a soldier. Martin Luther King was a soldier. Frederick Douglass was a soldier. Harriet Tubman was a soldier.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They waging war. They fighting a vicious enemy, and some of them died in combat. All right, let me calm down. Okay, Josh, come on with it, man. Man, I'm excited, man.
Yes, sir. My sister Naima says teach. Mimi sends the greetings. Brother Harold. So many people are showing you love in the comments. And please, y'all, once we put this on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe. Brother Ernest, I have a question. So speaking of you when you were 10 years old, hearing the Most High Mr. Louis Farrakhan speak, prior to 75, what was it like being an MUI?
Man, oh man, Joshua, I love school. I love MUI. Brother Captain Alfonso, student captain, Brother Alfonso, he went to Muhammad University with me. I knew him from way back when. He's one of the few that I remember. But man, when going to Muhammad University was so eye-opening, man. I learned my student enrollment, my actual facts, English lesson number 1, C1, man. I mean, and I can recite it. I mean, and I was excited about it. As a matter of fact, when I used to visit my grandparents' house, the guys from the hood used to say that Muslim stuff, man. Say that Muslim stuff. And I'd be on the corner, right at 46th and Brooks on the corner. I'd be like, original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe, the colored man is the Caucasian white man, or Yaku's graphic devil, the skunk of the planet Earth. I recited all. They
Yes.
wanted the student in Rome, they wanted to hear the actual facts. And it was amazing. But let me tell you one thing about Muhammad University and the nation back prior to 75. I was, excuse, I was so afraid of the FOI, boy. There was no nonsense FOI when I was prior to 75. I'm serious. It seemed like everybody to me as a little boy was 6'5", 200 pounds, and just muscle bound. So I wasn't cutting up at MUI. And, I did get corporal punishment one time at MUI. The dean of the boys, his name was Brother Jawan. He was an imposing figure. So me and a brother named Wallace, we would play boxing. And that was a big no-no. So, I got discipline, man. I got the razor strap, brother.
Yes, sir.
There was no more play boxing from Brother Ernest, little Ernest at Muhammad University. And through MUI back then, I got a job at Shabazz Fish House as a little boy. And I used to have Shabazz Fish House was on 14th Street, Northwest Washington, D.C. And I used to have to sweep and mop. And that's all I had to do. And then I would get a free meal. And I mean it. And man, the food was so good at Shabazz Fish House. I was so proud to be associated with the nation because the nation, we had so many businesses. It was thriving, man. We had DC on lockdown when I was at Muhammad University, and we had so many school buses full of students, hundreds of students when I was at Muhammad University. So it was a blessing. And when we got pulled out, this was shortly after the departure of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Me and my sister were so upset that our parents pulled us out of MUI, but the nation was taking a turn in a different direction. And I guess my mom and my stepfather didn't want to be a part of that turn, so they took us out. But I have nothing but great memories of Muhammad University and my teacher, Sister Mary Alice 3X. No nonsense sister, man, but she loved us, and you could sense the love in the way that she taught.
Praise be to Allah. But Brother Ernest, when we would drive on the way to Muhammad University of Islam, many times you would drive myself and your children and my sisters and brother. We would drive past Mercy Hospital on the expressway. Yeah. And you would always tell us that, that was the place where, you were in Chicago and you had witnessed that and you saw you were around when the Most High Elijah Muhammad departed. What was that?
No, not quite, Josh.
Okay.
I just remember the day to the moment because it was dark all over America.
Oh, okay.
See, in DC, it was dark and cloudy. And then it came on the news that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had departed. They said he died. So no, I wasn't in Chicago. No, I was in DC. But I remember that day because I cried cried because they said that the Lamb of God was gone, but it was dark. I remember that day. Brother Farrakhan, he talked about that at Savior's Day 1981. He said it was dark all over America. It was. It was dark in DC on February 25th, 1975. I remember that day. Yeah, because I cried. Me and my sister, we were crying because the man that we loved was gone. But little did we know, but we found out later. I found out later.
Yes, sir. Okay, well, speaking of finding out later, what was it that made you, about the minister, that made you want to come back into the nation?
Man, look. When I saw the minister, when I was 10 years old, I was sitting in the room, and I'm telling you, when he was teaching, I saw a light like a halo around him. I'm serious. I don't know if it was aura or whatever. I saw this light coming from him, And I was able to understand and comprehend uh, what it was he was saying as a child. And I loved him at that moment. And I saw Joe Tex teach. His name was I believe it was Abdul Aziz. My parents took me to see him, and he inspired me. Great teacher of Islam. And Dr. Lonnie Shabazz, the minister in D.C.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, he was a great teacher, man. They had so many good teachers, man. So it was coming all into me, And uh, when I was 16, I'm in high school. I'm a sophomore in high school. My mother took me to see the minister. He was coming to the Howard Theater. This is in 1979. So I went to the Howard Theater and saw the minister. That was it. I said, I got to help him. That day at the Howard Theater, I purchased my Holy Quran. I purchased Message to the Black Man, Our Savior Has Arrived, How to Eat the Live, Book 1 and 2. I purchased all of them that day. And I made up in my mind that when I finished high school, I was going to go help the minister do whatever it is that he wanted to do.
Praise be to Allah. Yes,
So
sir.
I've been convinced, man. These teachings was right and exact compared to what I learned when I was in the church. The church just wasn't strong enough for me as a child. I loved going to vacation Bible school and all of those things, but it just didn't resonate with me. When I heard Islam, as the minister said, or he quoted a scholar, he said, Islam brings out the militant propensity in the black man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I guess I had some militant propensity that needed to be developed. So
praise be to Allah.
So now after I graduated high school, I didn't know where the mosque was, but finally I saw a poster of Minister Farrakhan speaking at Constitution Hall in Washington D.C. But I missed his speech. But then they said he was speaking at the Phyllis Wheatley Y in Northwest Washington D.C. So I went to the Y to hear the minister speak, and he wasn't there. But I didn't know because I didn't have a real good view. And it was actually Minister Abdul Kareem Muhammad from Plainfield, New Jersey, who was teaching that night. And he was roaring, brother. He is a great teacher of Islam, and he's a soldier. So I accepted that day, August 18th, 1981. Yeah, because the minister, I think, had missed his flight or something, and Brother Kareem was teacher that night. But it didn't matter to me who was teaching. I was excited about it, and then, I was going to help the minister do whatever he wanted to do, and that's what I did.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. And did you ever get to let the minister know that you saw him as a child and as a teenager?
No. I've been meaning to write the minister one day and just share everything, but I have yet to do that, and I really need to do it. But yeah, no, I never told him that. Yeah, yes. I met him when he doesn't know. He rubbed my head. And and I think he believed. He said that I will grow up and be a good man or a great man one day. But I lost my train of thought.
Seeing you when you were 10 years old.
Hmm?
What the minister was saying to you when you were a child?
No, I know he just rubbed my little head, brought him up front, when he's shaking hands and things like that. I think he said he'd be a great man one day. Now, I can't remember that. I'm paraphrasing. But.
Yes, sir. Well, Brother Ernest, when we were younger, it seemed like everybody I never heard people call you Brother Ernest besides us saying Brother Ernest or Uncle Ernest. Everybody else refers to you as E1. Half of people refer to you as E1. How did that come about? Like, why did people call you that?
Yeah. Well, when your father became the supreme captain, he asked me to come to Chicago with him, which I did. Uh, and we had work to do when we got to Chicago because we still had NOI security and everything in DC. So we couldn't bring the staff and the team from DC because we had to keep DC going. So
Mm-hmm.
NOI security could grow and prosper. So I think I was the only one that came from DC with Brother Sharif
Mm-hmm.
um, to Chicago. And in the beginning, it was just, we had a little apartment on the south side of Chicago. And Brother Sharif was living there. I was living there. Brother Arif Muhammad was living there. Formerly Brother Anthony Muhammad. Now he's the minister in Memphis, Tennessee. He was living there.
Yes,
All
sir.
of us was in this little one-bedroom apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and we started working, here in Chicago. And we knew a lot of the brothers because we soldiered with them over the years, and I think myself, Brother Mustafa, and Brother Sharif were having a meeting, and we were talking about future plans, and we had to start to develop a team. And I know Brother Sharif asked me, what would be a good title, and I think I came up with, I said, account execs, because that's what we'll be doing. We'll be servicing the regions of the Nation of Islam, the brothers that would be the account execs.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, they were brothers from the security team. Um, I was E1. I was Brother Ernest Muhammad. I was the first executive, I guess.
Yes, sir.
And then it was E2, which was I believe it was Brother J, that drove from the security team. And E3, man, I'm telling you, I've been asking people about who E3 was. Well, I'm not sure. E4 was Brother Wali. Used to be the captain of Mount Mariam.
Mm-hmm.
Top soldier, man. Used to be Brother Jack.
Yes, sir.
Big Jack back in the day, man. He was E4. E5 was Brother Tada Muhammad, the minister's driver.
Yes, sir.
And each one of us, we were assigned to a region as we uh, became, got these positions, or what, not really positions, but became members of the E team.
Yes,
And
sir.
E6 was formerly Brother Melvin Muhammad. And I can't remember all these new names, man. So many blessings, man, that the minister is giving out these names to soldiers who really deserve these names. But that was Brother Melvin Muhammad. E7 was Brother William Muhammad, your brother.
Yes, sir.
Chill.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
E8 was Brother Hamza Muhammad, formerly Brother Darrell Muhammad. And then we had E9. Oh, that fails me. But I know E10 is my brother, my friend, Brother Sultan Muhammad. And then, we just kept on building E11, E12, and then we got on up to E15, which was Brother Emil. One day I'm going to try and see if I can recall. I'll get with them and maybe they can tell me all of the names, but that's where the executive one. So we were always calling each other. We were on the radio. Oh, E2, I'm sorry, E2 was Brother Benny Muhammad. E3 was Brother J. E2 was Brother Benny Muhammad, Mach D.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brother Benny Mo. And, may Allah be pleased with our brother as he recovers and is still healing, from what ails him. So please always keep Brother Benny in your thoughts and your prayers. Because he's a soldier and he's earned your thoughts and your prayers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Each one of these brothers brought something different to the table. You know what I'm saying? The disciples of Jesus were all different men, but all of them had value and they brought something to the table. So you surround yourself with people that not just like you, but you want to surround yourself with people who can help you get where you want to go. And I think a lot of the Brother Sharif had the vision where you're not so insecure to the point where you can bring people in which allows all of us to grow. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Because when we can't do it all by ourselves. That's why we got to develop a team. And we really started to develop a team. And we had our ups and downs, we had our battles, but the mission, the overall objective, is to help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan do whatever it is that he wants to do. That's the bottom line.
Yes, sir.
So we want to get 300,000 papers sold. We're going to get 300,000 papers sold. We want to get 400,000 papers sold. We're going to get 400,000 papers sold. Whatever it is that needed to be done, we were going to be found trying to do it. And I'm telling you, we work. Your father is a workaholic now. So, we having staff meetings. I mean, we're meeting at the final call, paper night. We used to call it paper night, where the county execs were on. We all did a conference call with each of our regions
Yes, sir.
to see, what are our goals? How many papers are you going to be accepting this week? And it was really an exciting night. It was on Monday nights. That was paper night. And we'd be pushing, man, 2, 3 in the morning. You probably be asleep. Your father was coming in. We dropping him off at 3 or 4 in the morning, man. And then we had to be back at work at 9. Didn't matter how late it was, you supposed to be at work. But I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir.
I love the nation, man. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, I was going to ask you. So, you 400,000 papers, 300,000 papers, all of these objectives. If you were talking to a young soldier or a young lieutenant now who wants to help inspire his squad to sell Final Call newspapers, what would you tell them?
Our people need us. You got to understand the need. Our people need us more now than they ever did. But they might not see it like that. I wish I could get out there and soldier like I used to. I had me a little spot. I get my 100 papers sold, quickly. But and I've seen a lot of great paper salesmen back in the day. But I'm telling you, I ain't never seen nobody sell papers like Brother Jamil, your uncle. I'm telling you. And people just be taking papers out of Jamil's hand. I'm good, but I'm not like Brother Jamil. I never seen nobody that can move papers the way Brother Jamil. He just has a great attitude, great conversation. And I would tell them to look at some examples of brothers that have been selling papers like that. And but a young brother, a young lieutenant that's got a squad, they gotta love the mission. They gotta love our people. And they got to want to see our people in a better condition. And that alone should motivate them enough, or maybe motivate us enough to want to get out there and move the #1 program. That's why Honorable said that's his best minister. Why is it his best minister? Because it can go into places that we cannot. Once that person picks that paper up in their car, it's in their car. Oftentimes they're going to take it in their house, and they might put it on the coffee table. So maybe a child will read it, or maybe a mother-in-law or father-in-law or somebody's going to be reading it, and it'll be the conversation piece in the household. So that's a place that we can't get to, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we got to understand, let the brothers we have to understand that we're on a mission. We're soldiers. We're trying to infiltrate that black mind. And the best way to infiltrate that black mind is to get that final call on the Muhammad Speaks in their hand. That's the best way. I remember as a child at MUI, we had to carry papers. We used to the additional excess papers we used to give away. And, I was honored to give our people in Southeast and Northeast, a Muhammad Speaks newspaper back in the day. You got to love our people in order to push the paper.
Ain't that the truth? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because okay, they're sure gonna try you. You better love them. So you're gonna get rejection and no's and all kind of things. But we just got to stay focused. Yes, sir. Next, I'm ready.
Okay, when you were in DC, before you became E1, before there was that y'all in Chicago in 1991, that era, in the 80s, Jesse Jackson wants to run for president.
Yes, sir.
How sir?
Now go ahead.
How important was that to Black people in general, and how did that impact you being right there, being in DC?
Man, that was big. That was big, you know. Um, it started hmm, late 1983 and then into early 1984. It started when Jesse went to Syria to free Flight Lieutenant Robert Goodman.
Yes, sir.
And the minister was invited by Jesse to be a part of the delegation that went to go free him. And according to what I heard in the reports that I heard, that the minister just had a great impact uh, in that regard with his prayers. And everybody's wondering who is this little man from Chicago. So we were so proud of the minister, man. And I remember I was working for the phone company back then. And look, we had a little lounge area with a big TV.
Mm.
And look, I used to take over the TV when I knew the minister was going to be on. I didn't care. I go up in there and I'm turning the channel. Back then, when you had a remote, you had to turn the channel.
Yes,
we were so proud of the minister going to Syria and being a part of that. And then when we came back, Jesse made his announcement at the Washington, D.C. Convention Center. I was there. As a matter of fact, there were two people who had bad intentions toward Jesse. I'm on post. I noticed these two Caucasian men not smiling, not responding like the other people responding. When you're a soldier, you looking.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
these two men actually were plotting against Jesse, and I reported them to the Secret Service. Told my officer, they pulled them out of the audience, but that's what they were. They had bad intentions, and they were pulled out. So that whole 1984, man, was so exciting, and the minister was backing Jesse. He was being a brother to him, and we soldiered, man. Some of us were on post with Jesse and at the rallies, and the minister made us throw our arms of protection around Jesse.
Mm.
And that's what we did, because the FOI, we hear and we obey. And it made a big, big impact. I mean, it was on the news every day. And then they tried to separate Jesse and the minister. When the minister did the lecture, Islam comes when all else fails. That's when the whole Milton Coleman thing transpired out of that lecture. And the minister was roaring that in that lecture. Everybody should listen to that. You can order from the Final Call.
Yes, sir.
It was March the 4th, 1984. In that particular lecture, that's where all of the controversy started, from the minister's lecture, Islam when all else fails. That started everything. And then after the minister did that lecture where they say he threatened Milton Coleman, he was on Nightline with Ted Koppel.
Yes,
and that's
sir.
when the world was really, really introduced. Not really introduced. A lot of them already knew who the minister was, but that went worldwide. Nightline, the minister on Nightline, talking about the Milton Coleman incident where they claimed the minister threatened his life. But we don't need to be threatening nobody. The minister say, you done, you done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you don't need to threaten nobody. But and then it kept on going, and finally they the minister had a press conference at the JW Marriott in April of 1984. And I've posted pictures of that press conference where when the minister gave this press conference, I've never seen a press conference covered so much by the media. There were 108 microphones on the podium where the minister was speaking. I'll post that picture again today on Facebook. And the minister, he dealt with the press that day. You don't hear no mention of it. You can't find it. It's not on YouTube. I can't find that particular press conference. Maybe it's at the final call. It should be somewhere. But that's when the minister addressed it. And it was a historic press conference that went all over the world. And then finally, Jesse repudiated the minister, and the minister, he loved him anyway. The minister has taken abuse, but he gives back a blessing, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, he showed us how to be. So if you want some real good insight into it, listen to the minister's lecture, July 1st, 1984, called The Black Man's Fear. The Black Man's Fear. It's on YouTube. Anybody can go to YouTube and look up The Black Man's Fear, July 1st, 1984. And the minister deals with the repudiation and he addresses it. And it's one of the best explanations of what's taken place. And, behind the scenes then in late 1984, that's when power was being developed. People organizing, working for economic rebirth. So there were all types of things going on. The nation, we were moving, man. We was moving. You couldn't hardly hold a final call back then. They we used to get out there and push them. We were on so many fronts in the 80s. We were working. We were working, man.
Yes, sir. Okay, and when you were in DC, the Black Man's Fear, the Dopebusters, crack, Milton Coleman, all of this going on. Were you ever afraid? And if so, how did you overcome that fear, brother?
I don't know about afraid. Okay, let's when we started the Dopebusters and we started getting contracts. We had a contract at this complex in Northwest DC called Clifton Terrace. Clifton Terrace, in my opinion, Mayfair was bad, Paradise, all these places are bad all over the country, but Clifton Terrace was the worst place, I'm telling you, that I had ever seen. And why was Clifton Terrace so bad? Because the guys or the brothers who was in charge at Clifton, the criminal element, they were former Muslims. A lot of them had went to Muhammad University, but they had turned back on their faith, and now they were criminals. And there's no criminal worse than a Muslim that's gone bad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why? Because they don't fear none but Allah. Okay. Even in their criminal escapades. So they're the worst. They're the roughest. You can't play with them because they don't have no fear. So we brought Brother Charles Muhammad from Chicago to DC for training. Brother Charles used to be the security manager at the Salam restaurant. Some of you all might know him.
Yes, sir.
His daughter, Sister Dana, Sister Tadara.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we brought Brother Charles to DC for training. And he always tells this story. We brought him to Clifton Terrace. And he told me later on, he said, Brother Ernest, let me tell you something. He was a captain for the Gangster Disciples for years. He was gang banging for a long time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He said, Brother Ernest, let me tell you something, man. I ain't never been afraid of nothing in my life, man. He said, but when you left me in that booth in Clifton Terrace, that's the first time in my life I've been afraid. He said, my heart was just pounding. And he said, I looked at you and you were walking through there by yourself. You the chief of operations or whatever it is that you doing.
Yes, sir.
You walking through Clifton Terrace by yourself like you oblivious to what's going on around you. I said, no, Brother Charles, not that I'm oblivious. I said, we're Muslims. We're not supposed to fear the arrow that come by day or the one that flies by night because we are wrapped in God's bosom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Don't think that I ain't never been afraid, but how can the fearful lead the how can the fearful lead the fearless? You
Yes, sir.
can't
Yes,
do
sir.
it.
Yes,
No,
sir.
I've been afraid, but we got to get through our fear. We have to challenge our fear for the greater good. I said, Brother Charles, don't think I'm oblivious to what's going on around me. I'm looking, brother. I'm always security minded. Anything and everything I do, I'm looking through my peripheral vision. I'm looking ahead. I'm trying to see what's going on behind me. So don't think that I'm not looking. I'm always looking. I'm a soldier.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So no, I've been afraid, but you got to challenge your fear and just keep on going. You know, just like when we were in Mayfair, they said the Jamaican posses were gonna come down and kill the dope busters. And your father called the minister, who was a soldier, top soldier, Brother Farrakhan, and he said, Brother Farrakhan, they said the Jamaican posses are coming down here to try and, deal with us. And the minister said, well, brother, how long is the drive from New York to DC? And your father told him, about 3 hours, sir. And then the minister, with his wisdom, said, well, they haven't gotten there yet. Well, apparently they're not coming.
Mm, mm, mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm paraphrasing, and your father can expound on it even more. So, once or God reveals his arm to you, you're secure. And that helps to eliminate your fear. And
Yes,
Master Farad Muhammad has proven himself to us over and time again, you know, that he is with us. The minister spoke in 1983 at the 20th anniversary of the March on Washington.
mm, mm.
They had us in that hot sun, had the minister waiting in that hot sun all day long. It was burning up, but the minister was cool. And, he was, and at the end, near the end, the minister spoke 6 minutes and 20 seconds. And his 6 minutes and 20 seconds was the highlight of the day. So he said, Assalamu alaikum. And the people said, Wa alaikum salam. But later on, there was a terrible thunderstorm. And I was blessed to be on security in the minister's room. He was at the Holiday Inn, the suite, um, at Thomas Circle, right on 14th Street. And it was a terrible storm after the march. And I'm telling you, and your father might have been in the room. I don't know who was in the room. The minister walked to the window and said, peace, be still. And the skies opened up and the storm went away. I'm a witness. I'm telling you, that's what he did.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The minister said, peace, be still. And that storm just went away and the clouds opened up and it became sunny.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, and just to go into Mayfair Mansions unarmed. Mayfair was like the worst open air drug market I ever seen. It was like a damn grocery store of drugs and narcotics, man. We were pulling people out the attics, pulling people out of the basements, living in the halls. I mean, I've never seen anything like it, but Allah blessed us.
Wow.
The brother had the unfortunate turn to pull a shotgun on the brothers, and then the big body slammer, Brother Ronald Muhammad, picked him up, threw him and the gun down, because he challenged his fear. Brother Ronald said, Allahu Akbar. And,
Yes, sir.
the rest was excuse me, the rest was history.
Praise be to
Those
Allah.
buses went all over. I mean, people from everywhere were coming to little Mayfair mansions. News reporters from France, news reporters from Canada, news reporters from Germany. I mean, from everywhere they were coming to Mayfair mansions to see what the little group of Muslims, by Allah's grace and under the guidance and direction of Brother Farrakhan, were able to accomplish. Where in 24 to 48 hours, it was completely transformed. And unfortunately, there's nothing in Mayfair Mansions that says that the Muslims was even there. But you know, this work that we're in, you don't get a lot of gratitude. Although Allah hates ingratitude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, when somebody does something for you, show some appreciation for it. Tell them thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
mean, in our own personal lives, somebody does something for you, thank you. You know, it goes a long way. But anyway.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And you got a lot of comments, Brother Ernest, and we have a few more questions for you. But we have a quick 60-second commercial break, Brother Ernest, for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast. I want to thank everyone who's a sponsor or a donor of the People's Podcast. If you would like to make a donation or if you would like your business promoted, please cash app the People's Podcast and reach out to me. Let me know what your business is. I want to thank, we have a new season coming up that we're very excited about. Thank you. I see everybody in the comment showing you love. Please cash up the People's Podcast. I'm going to start with my brother, Rashad. Street Premiere Media Production. He has a 4K camera, a drone. He does television and film editing. Thank you very much. My sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, both of which are available on Amazon. My sister,
I got both of those books.
Okay, good. Praise be to Allah. My sister Naima, Stay On Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually across the country and right here locally in Atlanta in studio. If you would like some ballet lessons, please reach out to her. We love our tiny dancers. Our brothers out of the West Coast, MTS Car Bros. Any make, any model, any year, 30 to 50% off. Make sure you reach out to them. They'll get the vehicle straight to you. Brother Kenneth, Bow Tie Maker Extraordinaire. He'll ship bow ties to you all across the country. Our brother out of Chicago, Hip Hop Detox, Brother Enoch. Hip Hop Detox empowers youth and youth advocates towards healthy lifestyles and lifestyle decisions with a holistic approach. Thank you very much, Brother Enoch. Asiatic Minds, an online school, asiaticminds.com. If you all don't want to send your children back into the actual school right now and everybody has masks on or whatever's going on, Asiatic Minds online. It's a great alternative virtually all across the country. Sister Latasha Muhammad, Queen is I Poetry and Apparel. Sister Latasha Muhammad, amazing poetry, and she has great apparel as well. Thank you very much, Sister Latasha. We're coming right back to Brother Ernest. Our brother Aaron from Jersey, by the way of Jersey, now in Albany, Georgia. Fresh and Clean LLC, freshandcleansanitizing.com. Also Elevated Places Incorporated, adult counseling, youth counseling, life management, 229-344-1474. Dr. Henry M. Carter right here in Atlanta, Georgia, King Henry Turkey Legs. Brother Rashad Muhammad of Chicago, COVID-19 Disinfecting Cleaning Services. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, AbdulSharif.com. And last but not least, my two books, Cleopatra, which is on Amazon, and No Father, No Excuse, which is on Amazon as well. Thank you all for your sponsorships and donations. Keep the People's Podcast going. Right back to you, Brother Ernest.
That's right. Keep it going.
Brother Ernest,
yes, sir.
I want to thank you because you said make sure we show gratitude. Brother Ernest was not just an uncle figure for us for many years in the life of our childhood, but he protected us. And I was telling Mimi the other day about I wouldn't be able to play video games if it wasn't for Ernest helping me connect the games and drive us to the Target and all so much Batmans and movies and everything we did with Mikal and Yasmin and Sister Felicia, us begging for her fried chicken whenever we would get a chance to go over there. So we just love you and your family, Brother Ernest, and we thank you all for your sacrifice, and we definitely appreciate it.
I thank you for yours, Brother Joshua. I'm very proud of you.
I'm trying, Brother Ernest. I'm trying. Okay, my next question for you, Brother Ernest, is if people weren't calling you E1, many people were calling you Black Ice, right? So it was a big deal in the Salam. They was open the atrium. Black Ice is going to be DJing. How did that name come about? And what was so important about, back in the day, Muslims having dancing and fine dining and Brother Ernest and DJing? Like, why was that a thing?
Well, Black Ice. When I was in high school, there was a brother named Wayne Solomon, who was the original Black Ice that I knew. And man, when we used to go to the party, Black Ice, man, he'd be tearing it up. I mean, I grew up in a generation where we partied, man. We partied.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we partying, sweat be dripping off the ceiling, hitting you in the head, man. That's how we party. But anyway, Black Ice, we're still friends today. We're good friends.
Mm.
Wayne Solomon. When I started DJing, probably in my mid 20s, I started, spinning a little bit. I called Wayne and I asked him. I said, Wayne, hey, man, can I use Black Ice, man? Because I know you're not DJing like you used to. He said, man, go on ahead. He knew me as Billy.
Yes,
Said,
sir.
Billy, go on ahead, man. You want to use Black Ice? And he called me Black Ice now. So I just started spinning, man, and I love music. I learned my love for music from three men primarily. My father was number one. That's why I learned my love for the old school, the doo-wops, the
Yes, sir.
Motown, and I learned that from my father, man. Because my father, he loved music. He had a reel-to-reel, and we just listened to music for hours and hours. And then second, my biggest influence with musically was my stepfather. I mean, he had albums and albums and albums. So, from my stepfather, that's when I started, I learned my funk, man, my funkadelic and
Yes,
my
sir.
jazz,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
my P-funk, man. I'm a funketeer of the highest order. I learned about the funk and my Al Jarreau's, and he was just very diverse. My Gil Scott Heron and everything like that. I learned from my stepfather. I learned a great deal about music from my stepfather. Then I'd say my next biggest influence was my uncle Michael. Man, I used to think he was the coolest dude in DC, man.
Yes, sir.
So through him, I learned my love of rock, my
Mm.
mother's finest, my Led Zeppelin and
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
stuff
Yes,
like
sir.
that. Because music in the '70s, man, was the bomb. I don't care what genre it was. It was good.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
I
sir. Yes.
learned my love for Mother's Finest, and like I said, different type of rock and Queen and Bohemian Rhapsody and all
Yes,
of
sir.
those
Yes,
type.
sir.
I
Yes, sir.
learned
Yes,
that
sir.
from my
Yes,
Uncle
sir.
Michael. And then I used to live with Brother Donald Muhammad. Donald Muhammad used to write for the Final Call, Muhammad Inside Music, which was one of the greatest columns you
Mm.
ever want to read, man.
Mm.
And he used to be the secretary in D.C. But I used to live with Brother Donald and him and Brother Anthony, Secret Squirrel.
Yes, sir.
We
Yes,
had
sir.
an apartment over in Southeast. And I learned my love of jazz from
Mm.
Brother Donald because he introduced me and opened me up to all type of new horizons musically through jazz. And, that's when I learned about my Miles Davis, my John Coltrane,
Yes, sir.
Johnny
Yes, sir.
Hartman, the great jazz vocalists. And so those four men, man, really gave me my appreciation and fascination with music. And, then I started to develop my own what I wanted to play because I used to keep people on the dance floor. When Black Ice DJ, you're gonna have a good time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Um, I was spinning, but one thing about me that you'll learn, the minister told me at the final call I was DJing, and he told me, he said, Brother Ernest, play dignified music for the people.
Mm.
So I don't play filth. I will never play garbage.
Mm.
If
Mm.
it's a
Mm.
if it's a lot of profanity or anything like that, I'm not gonna play it.
Mm.
You
Mm.
know. So I'm an old school DJ. So if you want to have a good righteous time, you call Black Ice.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So I'd love to DJ a party at Savior's Day.
Yes, sir.
Maybe
Yes.
inshallah, man, I'll reach out to Brother Ishmael and them say, put me on. I'm telling you, Black Ice will pack them in. We have a good time. But that's where Black Ice originated. And I tell people why I like the name Black Ice so much. I said because it kind of embodies me to a degree.
Mm.
Number one, I'm a black man. I'm an original black man, so I love the black part. And there's certain things about ice that I love. One thing about ice is smooth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Black ice. You say that's the way I roll. I'm Black Ice, man. I'm smooth with it. I'm sorry. I hate to admit it, y'all. You can put in the comments. Yeah, Black Ice is smooth. Another principal thing about ice, ice can be underestimated. See, I'm more than a DJ. I'm in love with Allah. I'm a soldier for Allah.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
it wasn't the 1/3 of the iceberg that sank the Titanic. It was the 2/3 that you couldn't see.
Yes,
So
sir.
there's
Yes,
things
sir.
about me that you don't know. Only God knows. So don't just think, I'm just Brother Ernest. There's more to me than what meets the eye. And the last thing about ice that I love is cold. And anybody who betrays the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in this mission, I'm going to turn cold to you like a block of ice. I mean, this is my mindset. I love the minister. I love the nation, man. And I have zero tolerance for coming against him. When I know some of the things that he's done for so many, and then they turn on him, like these Negroes, man. The minister has bent over backwards to help our people. And, how do we show uh, uh, thanks? We don't. Oftentimes we don't. I've seen too many, benefit from the minister. And then they don't, in return, they're going to repudiate it. They're going to talk about it. Oh, he's an anti-Semite. I'm so sick of these Negroes, man. And they being so afraid of the enemy. For what? What do we have to be afraid of when God is on our side?
That's right. That's right.
A powerful God.
Beautiful.
Who said, Minister Abdullah told me that the Savior said they could handle the United States in less than 6 days, be done. 6 days.
Oh, okay.
Their whole military, whatever, shut down. It's over, man. The messenger, Elijah Muhammad said the white man don't have a gun that could shoot him across the street, big enough to shoot him across the street. Man, that's powerful, man. They got some big guns, don't they? they have guns that can shoot 50 miles. You know what I'm saying? But the messenger said they don't have one big enough that can shoot him from across the street.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Over at 4855 South Woodlawn. They ain't got one big enough.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Man, please. I'm so glad that we don't follow no punk God.
That's right. That's right.
So if we don't follow no punk God, we can't be punk men and women.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Bro Ernest, I want to ask you about your role in the Million Man March. What was that? What was the climate like back then, and what was your function?
The Million Man March. I think I was sent to DC to head up transportation. Brother, at that time, Brother Fontaine, he was sent. He was dealing with all the vending. And Brother Melvin was sent to handle all of the logistics, the logistical piece. And things were not going as smooth at the headquarters as it should have been. It was not enough work being done. So your father sent us down there, and we went to work. So I was over transportation. A lot of people don't realize how big and important transportation is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But when you talk about sending 1 million men to a city with 10,000 buses, that's what we're supposed to be coming, 10,000 buses and 1 million people. You could gridlock and shut down the whole city. Just imagine if we got 10,000 buses in the DC area and we just told them all to just stop. Y'all at 2 a.m., we want y'all to just stop on the Beltway, stop on 295, stop on New Hampshire Avenue, stop on Georgia Avenue. We could shut the whole city down. So that's how important transportation was. So transportation meetings were tied to security. So it'd be security and transportation together because that's how important transportation was. But Allah blessed us, man. We put together a transportation plan, and I was blessed with a great group of volunteers at the command center. And I'm telling you, we worked 1, 2, 3 in the morning, man. I'd have to drive some of the sisters home, some of the great MGT, had to drive them home after we finish up for a day, responding to people, sending them a transportation plan, coordinating with buses and things like that. And we were really, really blessed. Sister Claudette was down there. And we were working.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We had to grind, man, to help bring the minister's vision to fruition. And that was the goal. The minister said he wants 1 million. The Nation of Islam, we're gonna be found bringing it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brothers was coming into DC every week with thousands of posters all over the place, handouts, having regional meetings. It was just a great joy, but we did it with joy. It wasn't a burden. We were happy to do it.
Yes, sir.
And we were at a meeting one time downtown, and when we went to these meetings with the city officials, state officials, federal officials, because it'd be layered. Any FBI, whoever, everybody was there at these meetings. So we were at a meeting one time, and usually Brother Benjamin Muhammad, or Ben Chavis at that time, he would do the speaking, on behalf of the Men Match, the planning committee. So we were in this meeting, and this arrogant dude, man, he said, well, where did you all come? Because we were talking about the transportation plan, and he was like, where'd y'all come up with this? Where'd you all get this transportation plan? Who'd you consult with? Did you consult with Rand McNally, the people that make maps and stuff like that? So what did we do? And then Minister Ben hit my leg under the table. That means I can respond.
Yeah.
And the main point of our transportation plan, of course, is that we wanted to get people to come into the city between the hours of midnight and 5 a.m. To not gridlock the city. So I said, sir, I said, our transportation plan is based on knowing the streets of DC. I said, sir, have you been out in the streets of Washington, DC between the hours of midnight and 5 a.m.? I said, because I've been out in the streets of Washington, D.C. between midnight and 5 a.m. And I know the streets of D.C. And I'm telling you, this is the best way to bring the people from these parts of the country to this point. See what I had in my transportation plan, we had mapped out all the way from whatever part of the country you were coming to. This is the designated spot for you to go, transportation-wise. We had it mapped. Every part of the country, exactly where you should go.
Mm.
From Metro, if you were riding Metro, everything was in the transportation plan. And I knew the streets, the main arteries of DC is New Hampshire Avenue, Georgia Avenue. I knew them because I've been out in them, man. We partied, man.
Yes, sir.
See, I learned from being out in the street.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we know what's happening at 2 or 3 in the morning because we used to be out there partying, coming from the club. I ain't tell them all that, but I said, I know the streets because I've been out in them.
Yes, sir.
So, and then there was a captain, he told Brother Mustafa, he said in 27 years, this was the best transportation plan he had ever seen from anybody. So I was just like, Allahu Akbar, man, because I love transportation for some reason. I love logistics. I love driving. I like driving.
Yes, sir.
I just love being able to go from point A to point B and mapping it out. That's something that I love doing. I don't know why, but I just love doing it. And the day of the Million Man March, I was at the top of the Washington Monument. And I was calling your father, who was in the suite with the minister. And I was giving your father updates on what I saw in terms of people. And I'm telling you, man, people were coming in droves from every different direction, man. And I could see the different metro stops. I could see Union Station from the Washington Monument. You could see everything. And I just saw droves of black men, man, coming out of every different direction. So I'd call your father and say, I said, Bro Street, it's got to be at least 200,000 people out here already. Because how do I know? Because I've been to some of the other marches and I've seen how big the crowds can get. So I mean, when they said this 470 something thousand, somebody came up with that, man, heck no, it's 1 million black people out here. It's a whole city. That's like taking the whole city of Detroit, right there in DC, the whole city of Houston, Texas, or something. Can you imagine a million or more, possibly 2 million people coming to one area? It was an amazing thing. It was sunny. It was a little cool, but the sky was so clear. And when the minister came down the Capitol stairs, man, my chest was just pounding with pride. Boom. As he came down the stairs with the security team, some of the brothers that I know on the E unit, the E team, and then you also had Brother Haroon and Brother Rashad, man. I was so proud to be a FOI that day. I'm proud to be a FOI every day, but I was really proud that day that Allah blessed us and that the minister was able to get out the message that God had put in him for that day. And just to have a part in it. And when we were in Phoenix, the minister took your father and myself out to lunch. And he said, Brother Ernest, how did all those people get in and out the city, like that? And I said, Brother Farrakhan, I said, only God knows, because I don't have a clue. And he just laughed, him and Brother Sharif, because it's the truth. Only God knows. I've been to small events like a concert at the Capitol Center, and traffic is just backed up. Here's a whole group of millions of people coming to a city, and there was no traffic when they left. It was just smooth in and smooth out, all these people. One reason, because white folks were scared, man. They wasn't coming in D.C. at all. They thought, they didn't know what they thought. We were going to destroy the government. But no, look at Trump and the little group did. See, that's what they expected from us. But no, we're dignified. We're dignified. We're soldiers. We're orderly. We don't bring chaos. We bring order.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we're not coming to go sit in Nancy Pelosi's seat. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
God is in the seat. He's on the throne. What do we care about her seat for? We want to get next to his. Anyway. Yes, sir.
Beautiful, beautiful. And thank everyone who continued to watch People's Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe. Brother Ernest, my next question for you, sir, is what has been your greatest what has been your greatest trial? And how have you overcome that trial?
My trial?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna share something personal with you all. When I was dismissed from the Final Call newspaper, and there was a big change, a shift change, when your father was no longer supreme captain, and there was a shift change, and I lost my position at the Final Call. I lost everything, man. I'm serious. It just started degree by degree by degree. And I was in line on 63rd Street to get food stamps to feed my family. And I'm in the line and tears are pouring down my face because I'm wondering, why am I here? And, I'm wondering, why am I here? I try to be a good man. I try to be a soldier, yada, yada, yada. When you're up, your phone rings, but when you're down, it's far and in between that the phone rings. So in that particular moment, my greatest trial was, okay, so I'm in there and I'm thinking while I'm in this line to get food stamps. And then I thought about Malcolm X. I thought about Medgar Evers. And I thought about Dr. King. I said, you know what? In spite of what I'm going through, there's been a lot more great Black men that have gone through worse. the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was jailed for 5 years.
Yes,
All
sir.
of this was going in my mind as I'm sitting there crying. And I said, you know what, Brother Ernest? Okay, you're going through a trial. Okay, now what do you want to do to rebuild? You know? So I was over my trial when I left the place. I said,
Mm,
you know what, Brother Ernest, you're going to get a job, you're going to feed your family, and you're going to do what a man is supposed to do. And, you know, it had got to the point where my father-in-law came and got my family, got my children,
mm,
and took my family back to DC. And I stayed in Chicago so I could, I could work to be able to send them money. And a lost found uh, opened up their home to me, and I paid rent to stay in a little room over there on 63rd and Ashland. And a brother named Princeton Muhammad, may Allah be pleased with him, he got me a little job, a security job. Uh, uh, I'm working at McDonald's over in Hyde Park on security, armed security.
mm.
But she opened up her home to me, and I paid my little rent. And I'd get off sometimes 2, 3 in the morning, and man, on 63rd and Ashland, out in the cold, and I'm walking, doing what I got to do. So, you know, I had my plan. I said I'm gonna get back to DC. When I got back to DC, I didn't have a job. Uh, so what I did, I called a temp company that I used to work for like 15 years before prior.
Mm, mm.
And they had my record because when I was working there prior, I was the temp of the year. And I got a bonus back then. So they brought me on board and they gave me an assignment. This is how God works, man. You
Yes, sir.
never know who God is going to bring into your life when you're down. So I got a temp assignment with a mortgage company. It was countrywide at that time. And then Countrywide was disbanded, and we moved to Bethesda, Maryland. There was a company called First American Mortgage, and a and I was sent over there on a temp assignment. The first week I was there, they made me an offer. They were so impressed with me. They made me an offer back in 2004, and it was a Jewish gentleman, Andrew Lang, and his wife Lisa both worked at the same office. They the ones that made me the offer. They called me into a room and said, "Hey, look, we want you to come on board, with us."
Praise be to
But
Allah.
something happened, and they left the company.
Mm,
7 of them. And he said, Ernest, look, give me 3 months to get this new office up and running, and I'll bring you on board. And that's exactly what he did. 3 months, I was temping somewhere else. He called me, said, "Are you ready?" He brought me on board. And by Allah's grace, I've been in the mortgage industry ever since that time, back in 2004. Because you never know, and degree by degree, I was able to get things restored. My children went to college. Yasmin went to college, and Nadira's in college. Degree by degree. If we trust in Master Farad Muhammad, he will
Allah.
not forsake us. We just can't lose grip of him and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. My love for the minister never dissipated at all.
Beautiful, beautiful,
I love Allah and I love
beautiful.
his servants, man, and I love the believers. I love everybody that's in your listening audience, man. If you love the minister and you love this mission and you love our people, man, I'm in love with you. You know what I'm saying? And inshallah soon I'll be closing on a house, a nice house, comfortable home, hopefully in the next 60 days or so, because God is good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
If we
sir.
do right by him, the minister told us, some of the security, this, you do right by me, God will look after your families.
Allah, Allah. Beautiful.
And I bear witness. I'm a witness, man. If we do right by God's servant, God will do right by us.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And so
I
many
know
people.
I shared a lot of myself, but I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. Anything I can do to help you in your roadmap to success, that's what I want to do.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Beautiful.
can I share one thing, Josh, before you get the
Go
next
ahead,
question?
man. Go ahead.
I was looking at this. I didn't have my secrets of effective leadership, but look, these are 8 must-have qualities of an effective leader.
Yes, sir.
Number 1, share their vision. A leader with vision has a clear idea of where they want to go, how to get there, and what success looks like. I think about the minister on all of these, and people that I know. Number 2, lead by example. Number 3, demonstrate integrity. That means your word is your bond. You see what I'm saying? That's it. That's integrity. Your word is your bond, and your bond is life. Okay. Next, communicate effectively. That's critical. Learns how to make hard decisions. The leader has to make hard decisions that we might not understand. Uh, Recognize success. Remember, I talked about gratitude? When God blesses you with a team around you, thank Him, show Him. I used to be so excited at Savior's Days. We used to order plaques and awards and trophies, man. That was me. I used to
Mm,
go to the trophy shop
mm.
and I'd pick the awards. I'd pick the trophies. Uh, and then we work on the verbiage that would go on. But I used to go over there for hours at a time. Your father sent me over there to make sure we recognize the count execs, the regional captains. We used to get stuff for sister captains.
Mm, mm,
And we
mm.
used to order the final call trophy, that big, tall, big trophy, man, that be hoisted at Savior's Day, man. I used to be so excited ordering all of these things because you're supposed to recognize success. You're supposed to empower others. You're supposed to motivate and inspire. All of that, them attributes, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan displays. And some of you that are on our listening audience right now, you display the same thing. Empower others, meaning I'm not going to be insecure. There's billions of stars in the universe, all of them giving off light.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So why should I try and block somebody's light? Let them all shine. Let us all shine. You know what I'm saying? Don't be insecure. What do we got to be insecure for?
Yes, sir.
If
Yes.
if Joshua shines, I get some the benefit of that light. If Brother Ernest shines, I get the benefit of him shining because all the stars give off light, which produces life and energy. So open it up. Don't be insecure. That's an enemy of Black organizations. That's an enemy of our rise is insecurity.
Yes, sir. Beautiful, man. It's
Like
beautiful.
position, we own the position. We don't own nothing. We only own ourselves.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, sir, but go ahead.
Excellent, excellent, and thank you for these amazing life tips and leadership skills. Set, Brother Ernest, I want to ask you 2 more questions.
Mm-hmm.
What is your? I know because of music, you introduced me to my second favorite band of all time, which is Sly and the Family Stone. As much as
Okay.
I play them, but if you could choose one album, Brother Ernest, what would say your favorite album of all time? What would it be?
Songs in the Key of Life.
Mm, mm,
Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life.
mm.
Right behind it is What's Going On by Marvin Gaye.
Okay, okay.
Now, my favorite jazz album is Lady in Satin by Billie Holiday.
Mm, mm,
That's the only album she ever recorded with a full orchestra, in
mm,
stereo.
mm.
Um,
Yeah.
but you can feel her pain and you can feel the what she had gone through in her short lifespan. And the former MGT captain in D.C. was Sister Alberta Muhammad, who resides in Detroit now.
Mm, mm,
She used to live in the same building as Billie Holiday. She used to brush her hair.
mm, mm.
Yeah. We got so many people who have so many stories that they can share with us. We just need to be able to access them. So I learned so much from Sister Alberta, and getting her bean soup, and I mean, we really were a family. Uh, And that kind of spirit and love it can be regenerated again. Back then, we used to open up our homes to people because, we had study group in the house back then, in the
Yeah.
houses and homes of believers. So, as believers who are listening, invite somebody over to your home. Have a bowl of bean soup. Get some of that cream of wheat bread and
Yes,
dip
sir.
it in
Yes,
your
sir.
bean soup and share some conversation. Show some love with each other.
Yes, sir.
That's how we build a brotherhood and sisterhood. Dine together, break bread together. You know what I'm saying? Not just see each other at the mosque. The mosque is where we get our battery charged, but you can charge your battery in somebody's home.
Yes,
I
sir.
can't wait to. My wife said, "Hey, you ain't gonna be inviting a whole bunch." I said, "Look, when we move, I'm doing some invitations. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And show them, how we living. And like you said, look, and Josh, you ain't lying, man. And I stay away from it though. My wife do cook some good fried chicken, man. Lord have mercy, man. I didn't know you remember, man. She can cook some daggone fried chicken.
Okay, so
But
absolutely.
I don't. I'm trying to stay away from that. I'm doing good by Allah's grace. You know, one thing I would say while we're on the line, work out, get in that gym. Get on how to eat to live. When I left Chicago, I was 310 pounds.
Man.
Guess what? Big E. I don't want to be Big E. You know what I'm saying? You want to be Little E. So now I'm down to 240 something. But my goal is to get down to 200 even. And I'm in the gym 2-3 days a week, man. We got to work out.
Yes, sir.
We
Yes,
can't buy bigger and bigger guns and trying to act like we lost weight. You know what I'm saying? You can't just buy bigger and bigger suits. No, get some get. We supposed to get in smaller clothes, man,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
because that weight will destroy your health in the long run. So let's get in the gym. Get on that how to eat to live, man. Make your soup. Cook your own food. Stay away from the processed foods. I feel good. I got my health challenges, but Allah is God. And I want to prove to myself and to anybody else that what we've been taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the best.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We have to show our people. Because if you read about the children of Israel, man, you had to show them everything. The word alone, you got to show our people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And even when you show our people, we still don't want to listen. Look at the post I put on well, anyway. Here we got a man that a lot of our people think is an entertainer. But no, this is a divine man, backed by God and his Christ.
Yes, sir.
I ain't no damn entertainer.
That's right.
He's a man on a mission. And the mission, he was commissioned by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to do exactly what he's doing. Wherever you see him, look at him. Wherever he tells you to go, go. We are thankful for Allah for this great help of mine, Brother Minister Farrakhan.
Wow,
Yeah.
beautiful. Good, Bro Ernest, I got one more question for you, sir. And thank everybody. So many people are commenting, like, share, subscribe.
I wish I could see the comments. I don't see none of the comments.
Yes, sir. And the Brother's also been on YouTube. That's when everybody's going to, show you the most love. But Brother Ernest, I had a question for you. What would you like your legacy to be, sir?
I like my legacy to be that I treated all brothers and sisters the way I want to be treated. I showed them love. And I didn't mistreat the believers. I love the believers. That's my goal. Not just to treat any human being that I come into contact with. I want to treat them the way I want to be treated. I don't care your color, your stature in life. I'm going to treat you the way I want to treat you. And if you talk to my employers, look, when I left my last job, I was at a congressional bank. When I left there, the comptroller of the company, it's a $1 billion company, she wrote a reference letter. I ain't never seen a reference letter like this in my life, talking about me. Little, now I ain't little, because if you come from the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you're a master wherever you go.
That's right.
And the people are going to gravitate towards you because you like the sun and you drawing them into your orbit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? But she wrote, I'm telling you, it's the best reference letter probably almost ever written. And when I gave it to my employer now, that's all they needed. It sealed the deal.
Mm,
Because if you do right and you go to work and you treat people the way you want to be treated, God is going to bless you. You can't get nothing but good results if you do what you asked to do and then some. So what if you're working for yourself, be the best at it. Wherever you working at, be the best at it. If you're working on with the march or the man march, be the best at it. Be on time. Be punctual. Don't come up with a whole bunch of excuses. Do what you're asked to do and then some. Because black people, we have to excel
that's right. That's
in
right.
order to move up. You can't just do the norm. You have to do what's exceptional.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You teach.
So my legacy, I treated people the way I want to be treated.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. Well, I want to thank everyone for watching again. Can't wait to put this on YouTube. Thank you again, Bro Ernest, and please thank your family. Let them know we love them and appreciate them, Bro Ernest, and appreciate you for all the hard work and sacrifice. Hey, somebody, Bro Ernest, yes, sir. All right. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Love you, Brother Ernest, and
Love
thank
you
you for
too.
watching. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.